JC, how will you write a new body swap story using inspiration from these movies? By analysing the interpersonal conflict. I will define the types of interpersonal conflict, and I will break down how they show up in some of my favourite scenes. But first, what is a body swap movie? Two or more characters switch bodies. Usually they must achieve something or learn a lesson to switch back. Okay, what is interpersonal conflict? A conflict over any type of opposition involving two or more people. These differences characters have in values and beliefs are what make them feel real. Someone we want to watch. This is so crucial, especially in body swap movies where there are two or more characters we have to relate to, understand, and invest in. Naturally, audiences may gravitate to one character's side in the interpersonal conflict over the others. But if you do not at least make your audience understand the other characters' values and beliefs, your body swap movie will probably suck. Especially if the movie is a dual protagonist vibe, like in Freaky Friday, and not a protagonist versus antagonist like in Freaky. Let me elaborate. IMDb says, an overworked mother and her daughter do not get along. When they switch bodies, each is forced to adapt to the other's life for one Freaky Friday. This movie works because we can relate to and invest in both mother and daughter.
Just look at him. You don't even know him. I know he's too old for you.
We may not support their point of view in the interpersonal conflict, but we understand it. And the more we care about Tess and Anna, the more we care about their outcome. We want them both to succeed. Compared to, after swapping bodies with a deranged serial killer, a high school senior discovers that she has fewer than 24 hours before the change becomes permanent. This time we invest fully in the high schooler and want her to beat the serial killer. Why? Because the writers focus on the internal conflict Millie undergoes. We watch as Millie finds her outward and then inward strength. As we watch the butcher lose his outward strength and then adapt to what his new body can provide.
Stop right there.
Using this internal growth as the foundation, the interpersonal conflict between hero and villain only becomes apparent during the final showdown.
You're being in your body. I understand why you feel so weak.
And any other interpersonal conflict throughout the movie comes from her family, friends, and peers, which is there to strengthen our investment in Millie.
You can't keep living your life for someone else. You've got to start doing things for you.
So think about your story. Where does interpersonal conflict belong? Where will it best serve the story you want to tell? Interpersonal conflict not only makes us understand and invest in characters, they are crucial in developing them. Let me explain. 4 teenagers are sucked into a magical video game, and the only way they can escape is to work together to finish the game. I love this movie. It's so funny. The interpersonal conflict between Spencer and Fridge and Martha and Bethany drives these characters to grow, learn, fail, and triumph.
Maybe it makes you a little self-absorbed.
Is because you're like afraid that people aren't going to like you, so you decide not to like them first?
These interpersonal conflicts, magnified by what their new bodies provide, make this movie emotionally engaging.
You're still the same annoying kid that I've been trying to shake since 7th grade.
Go on, think about it. Would we care about these characters if they didn't butt heads like they do? Yeah, I wouldn't.
Don't let this new body get your butt whooped.
So JC, what are the types of interpersonal conflict in storytelling? There's the classic misunderstanding. One character interprets what another character has said as something other than their intention. This type of conflict is usually resolved by clarifying the original intentions before skewed. An example is how Anna misinterprets her soon-to-be stepfather's intentions.
I never pushed Anna because I want her to like me on her own terms, in her own way.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Hot tip: be deliberate about your use of this type of interpersonal conflict. Otherwise, it can feel like lazy storytelling. The last thing you want your audience to think is, why didn't they just tell them? Or whatever it is. Freaky teeters on a moment like this? Millie tells her friends the truth, and then her love interest the truth. But when the opportunity arises to tell her sister, she doesn't.
But this is all gonna make sense to you later on. I gotta run. I'm so sorry. I love you. Martha!
Millie, why didn't you just tell her? Because thematically, it wouldn't have made sense. Millie is communicative and transparent with everyone except her family. This plot point dramatizes that Millie's family cannot be honest with each other. Therefore, this misunderstanding is used for a purpose. Even if we're yelling, just tell her! So how can you make a misunderstanding enhance your story? Other times, there's conflict based on values. The characters have different deep-rooted ideas about the big things.
I'm not stupid, Spencer. I said do my homework so I don't get kicked off the team, and you went and messed that up. Now I can't do the one thing that I'm actually good at, and it's all your fault.
Conflict like this is not easily resolved. Sometimes characters don't change their point of view on such disagreements. They acknowledge instead that the difference of opinion is okay.
I can see you're not ready for this. And I can wait. I guess that I was just so happy I wasn't thinking about what's best for you and Harry.
Other times, well, they do have a change of heart. Like this scene in Freaky. Millie's mother reassesses her values after this conversation with someone she thinks is a stranger.
I can't figure out what's going on inside her head.
Maybe she just needs some space. Just some time to figure out who she is.
So, how can your character's values add conflict to your story? Do they hold on to them or do they let them go?
That application to Boston. I want you to go.
Hot tip: always think about the message you want to leave your audience with. This will dictate the type of values your characters will carry with them or butt up against. Sometimes there is a disagreement on the facts. One character believes it is this, another believes it's that. An example is when Millie convinces her friend she's in another body. At first, her friends try to escape, creating this opportunity for hilarious physical conflict.
Really?
And then Millie must use details about herself to prove she is who she is.
When our beavers come to fight, feel our glory and our might. Yeah?
Conflict like this resolves by presenting the facts. Hot tip: sustaining interpersonal conflict on facts alone is difficult. So if you're a beginner, use this type to pepper your story. Also be deliberate about when you include your audience in on the fact, as this can be the difference between how well executed this type of interpersonal conflict is. I cannot stress this enough. Think of how Tess does not believe that Anna's teacher is failing Anna on purpose.
Mr. Bates is out to get me.
Oh, him too?
Only when Tess discovers who the teacher is, she believes her daughter. We already know the teacher is a jerk, but watching Tess's reaction and response is delightful.
You asked me, I mean my mom, to the prom, but she turned you down. I mean, you've got to let it go and move on, man.
Personally, I always try to include at least one fact in each of these categories. The audience knows the fact before the character knows the fact before the audience. The character and the audience learn the fact at the same time. So, what conflicts over facts can fuel development in your characters? Conflict can also arise due to how characters approach problems. This is when characters disagree on how to address an issue. One character believes this approach is the best solution, but another character does not. The 4 teenagers in Jumanji often quarrel over how things should be done.
Are you gonna help or are you too pretty?
I'm too pretty.
Like when the bikers chase them, Spencer has an idea.
We gotta go now! Get on my back!
What? I would rather die.
Jump on my back!
Nope, I'm gonna die. Put me down! Spencer!
Approach conflicts are fun to include because the writer can instantly switch the problem, forcing immediate action and growth from the characters. An example of this is when the teenagers face off against the rattlesnake.
What do we do?
You gotta snap the teeth. out of his head.
Interpersonal conflict like this can be avoided or resolved when characters remember the common goal. This is true for Jumanji when Spencer accepts he can't do the final challenge alone. He needs the help of his friends, particularly Fridge, with whom he has been at odds for the entire movie.
We can do it together.
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 Is that character development or what? So, can you make your characters think it's their way or no way? And then, can you pull the rug out from underneath them? Do it, I dare you. Don't forget ego. This is when things get personal and characters become defensive. Again, Spencer and Fridge experience a lot of this. Martha and Bethany too. It's difficult to resolve disagreements like this. Usually they continue until one or all parties grow into or learn egolessness. Egolessness. My favorite scene is when Martha must put her ego aside to learn from Bethany so the group can progress to the next level. She admits,
This is like my dream and my nightmare all at one time.
what makes it even better is that Martha needs to go through this with Bethany to make her ego around her internal conflict fall away so she can do this.
You are a badass.
She's kicking their ass.
Yes, queen!
Remember, she started like this.
I don't understand the obsession with throwing a ball into a hoop and, oh, touchdown, 5 points.
Yes, we want the interpersonal and internal conflict to overlap in some areas. That is great storytelling. And Freaky, the teacher, is all ego. He does not go into egolessness. Instead, very on genre. So what about ego in your story? How does it affect your characters' relationships? What about when characters don't meet the expectations that other characters have for them? This is when characters have a rule book for how they want other characters to behave.
Oh, Anna, why do you always have to blame him for everything? You couldn't find anything in your room.
Why do you always take his side?
Oh, look.
Why?
Anna.
No.
Tess thinks her expectations of Anna are reasonable, but what Anna thinks is reasonable is very different, and vice versa.
Where's my door?
Privacy is a privilege, Anna.
At first glance, it seems justified that Anna and Tess have these expectations of each other. But as the movie plays out, we discover it's the most dangerous thing they can do to themselves and their relationship.
But you are not going to the audition.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Why not?
Because I said so.
The real issue is that they believe if the other were to act the way they want them to, then they would be happy. That means they keep trying to control and manipulate the other person so they can be happy. And they don't even realize that that's what they're doing.
What is this? What have you done to my
Mom,
ear?
it's an earring.
Take it out. Take it out right now.
No, it looks cool.
Wouldn't it be nice if we could control everyone around us?
Those clothes are going back first thing tomorrow.
Why? Everyone likes them. You look great.
That's not how it works in real life, nor stories. Damn it. I've tried. What makes this kind of interpersonal conflict more potent and delicious to write and watch is when character A doesn't follow character B's rulebook, and character B makes it mean something negative about themselves.
It's called reading between the lines.
Oh my god.
When Anna doesn't follow her mother's rulebook, Tess makes it mean
I'm going to make one final attempt to try to understand what goes on in your head.
and when Tess doesn't follow her daughter's rulebook, Anna makes it mean.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry that I'm the one thing in your life that isn't perfect.
And that's how we can cleverly intertwine interpersonal and internal conflict for a more satisfying story. Interpersonal conflict like this is only resolved when characters learn that others have the ability and freedom to behave how they would like, including themselves. Think about your story. What behaviors have your characters put in the rule books for each other? Taking inspiration from the interpersonal conflict from these body swap movies, here's my mash. Remember, the primary purpose of interpersonal conflict is to 1. Develop the characters. 2. Help the audience understand the characters, if not invest in them. Until the next mash, bye-bye! Alright. Just whack the microphone. Oh, sorry, bump the microphone again. So your character will carry wiki wah. Oh, I've lost it. I've lost my mojo. I'm stumbling over every word. We may not disappoint their point. Want to know more about conflict? Check out this video that I organized earlier, because I'm a genius.